Yeah, I'll show you how to get it, but you have to be willing to do the work. The Syndicate, it's a motherfucking movement.
It's just a syndicate.
You ain't gotta be perfect, long as you down to put the work in. If when it comes to the bullshit you allergic, well, you just might be my kind of person. Welcome to the Syndicate, where real estate wholesaling is what the business is. Ain't gotta talk about it when you out here living it, so if you out here getting it, then welcome to the Syndicate. Welcome to the Syndicate. Welcome to the Syndicate.
And perfect. Looks like we're live, man. So yeah, super excited to be talking with my good friend Matthew Teifke again. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Appreciate you.
Of course, man. I know we're almost exactly a week out from our event in San Antonio, Wholesaling Syndicate Live. We actually are almost sold out of tickets. Moved a bunch of them today. So yeah, no, super excited. Still have some left if people want to come hang out with us and come learn some cool stuff. And yeah, man, it should be a good event.
Dude, it's a lot of work, man, and they're a lot of fun. And it's, as you know, and Bree's helping you is put it all in and then lights on and it's game day. And then you kind of just get to enjoy it at that point.
100%. Yeah, and I'm lucky I have her. And I definitely wouldn't be able to do it. But I know you guys run some badass events too, so I know you know how much work goes into it.
Yeah, man, it's just like I was saying there, it's like, I don't know about you, but I had like nerves, not knowing how it's going to turn out, what's it going to be like. And at the end of the day, it's always turns out how it's supposed to be, and you just got to enjoy it. And then it goes by fast.
Mm-hmm. No, it really does. Yeah, it's crazy that we're already here. So I know we're already almost in March, but yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I've got to hear you speak a few times, and I know you spoke at one of our events last time on a panel. This time we have you, want to make sure we made space to have you be one of the headliners. So super excited for you to pour into the audience. Do you want to share a little bit about what you're going to be talking about?
Absolutely, man. So this would be the second one that I've done. You've done 4 or 5 of these, right?
Yeah. So this is our second big one, but yeah, we've done like one of the ones you were at, like kind of our smaller ones, but yeah, it's like our second all day one.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy to. So one of our core values at TRE is we say, hey, come make money in and on real estate. And what I mean by that is you can do commissions, you can lend money. I'd even consider flipping, but like you're in the business, you're working on the business, and then on is ownership side and partnerships and getting the long-term generational wealth through real estate. And so I have a big belief that being a real estate agent, being an entrepreneur can all come together as one aspect. And really, you don't have to do one or the other, but you can do in and on, and they both complement and benefit each other. Mm-hmm. So that's like the aspect that, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to provide a value and a service, and I can wear different hats. I might represent you. I might represent myself. I might represent nobody and wholesale the deal. Mm. And I feel like a lot of people get lost in, hey, you can't do it like this, or there's too much liability. And really it's just talk from people who aren't doing it, and they're kind of preventing you from going out there and having multiple options. So that's really the topic I want to dive into. I'm happy to dive into it as much as you want here, but I'm really passionate about it, and we live by that. I've got a couple of deals I'm making commissions on. I got a couple that I'm buying, and they're both good. And, the ownership side takes a long time. So you have to make the commissions, as far as the way I approach it, to get the income coming in to go buy more deals.
100%, man. No, I love it. Yeah, let's dive into it. And I love your whole approach to real estate, especially being a traditional real estate agent, having a brokerage, and still doing everything else. And a lot of people, I feel like, try to draw a line there where there really doesn't need to be one. So yeah, man, I'd love to hear your perspective on it and why you guys do it that way, and why you think more people don't do it.
Yeah, way. I mean, it's frustrating to me that brokerages and different people say different things the way they do. And I've been around for quite some time, 13 years, and I've worked at a commercial brokerage, and I've got all kinds of examples, and I'll give you one specific that comes to mind right now. I was working at a commercial brokerage, and pretty high-end firm, downtown Austin. We represent national type tenants. And those guys that I was working with, they'd always get mad when residential agents were trying to call on commercial deals, right? And I was already doing residential and commercial. So I was like, it's all real estate. I know that there's niches that you have to understand and you got to be competent in what you're doing. But they would talk about these agents like they shouldn't be doing this, right? And then those same guys would go and they'd want to sell their house and they'd come and they'd be listing it on their own and they'd ask me for my opinions and my advice. I'm like, you guys are doing the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hypocrisy that's involved. And as far as why people don't do it, my opinion is that real estate brokerages have always made their money in one or two ways, and one of the big ones, commissions. And so if I'm a real estate broker and Ky, you're working, with our brokerage and you're wholesaling or you're flipping or you're buying and you're owning money or you're lending money, I, as the broker, in the traditional sense, don't know how to capture the money, right? And the brokers are always trying to capture the percentage. So there's that aspect of it, that they don't know how to make money with you, which is what we try to do. Is like, Ky, you're wholesaling, great, man. Maybe we'll find a buyer and we'll JV on the wholesale. You're lending money, maybe we'll lend money with you. Maybe we won't. But you being able to provide that service and multiple options and be an entrepreneur ultimately makes you a better real estate professional in general, right? And then the other thing is I feel like they just don't understand it. Like a lot of people say, don't do property management. It's too much liability. And there's liability with everything, man. I mean, why is everyone so scared of property management? It's one of the most important things of real estate. You don't need to be scared of it because of liability issues. We managed at one time like 800 doors.
Wow.
We've always been okay, right? I don't see managing properties as any more of a liability than selling real estate. I feel like selling real estate's more of a liability. There's higher dollar amounts. So little things like that, not being educated, not understanding what wholesaling is, judging people, has really prevented real estate agents from being entrepreneurial, and brokerages from the top down don't encourage that. And that's one of the things that I try to break through with everybody is, hey, you can do it all. You can think outside of the box. And some of these things are, changing, I feel like, but still relatively new.
I think that's a great point. I feel like it's so easy for really everyone to get stuck in your ways and just be like, hey, it's the way we've always done it. But I feel like when you leave yourself open to learn new things and try new strategies, I feel like there's so much more opportunity. And I love how you're looking for ways to just collaborate with everyone and like, how can we do deals together? I feel like it's just a great question to ask. And I feel like so much of life is like what you get is, based on the questions you ask. And I feel like that's such a powerful question.
Yeah, man, it's a team sport, right? That's one of the big things I say. Real estate's a team sport, and you want to celebrate your wins with other people. You don't want to be doing it on your own, and it makes it fun, right?
Yeah, 100%. So when you're evaluating a deal, so you get a deal, how do you know which hat to wear, and how do you know which route to go? I guess
that's a great question. So the way that I think about it is, if I meet with you, Ky, or anybody, and I present solutions based on first me going on a fact-finding mission to find out what's important to you. I kind of laid out, hey, this is who I am. This is what we do. Ky, if it's okay with you, the more you share with me and kind of tell me what's important, the more I can throw different ideas out that might cater to you. I am licensed. I am a broker. And then I'll kind of try to get information from you to get to the bigger reason of what you're trying to accomplish, right? And a lot of times I'll ask agents, hey, why is the seller selling? And they're like, well, they want the best price, right? And that's the obvious answer. But in my opinion, really, they don't actually know because they haven't really gone deeper with it. So I'm just on a fact-finding mission, and then I go in to provide solutions for you. And typically me listing the property and getting a commission and putting it on the MLS is the easiest thing for me to do, right? And so even if you were to think of this as selfishly, like that'd be the in theory the thing that you want to present first, which also people think is what benefits the seller the most. But when you dive in, you start to understand, hey, they don't want people to come look at their house. They don't want, their neighbors to know they're selling. They want to sell it within 10 days, whatever the reason is. At that point, when I really understand the motivation, then I can say, hey, okay, if you don't want me to list it, maybe I could find you a buyer, or maybe I'm the buyer. And at that point, I make it clear I would not be representing you in that situation. I wouldn't be making a commission to list your house. And they understand it. And so what happens is if you do it the right way, they really feel heard. They feel like you listen to them. They feel like you care. And then what happens is, you end up getting a deal done with them versus sitting back wondering if, someone else is going to get the listing or they did a better listing presentation. You kind of know, I really went through everything that I thought was important. I catered it to them. And most of the time, man, they're like, wow, I didn't know that all these options existed. I didn't realize that I could sell a portion of my house. I didn't realize I could bring an investor partner on, things like that.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's one of honestly, the most important questions you can ask in sales is, or one of your most important goals is asking questions to find out what it is they want and, what they're trying to accomplish, what that end result is, and then figure out how you can help them get there.
Yeah, and agents will judge it, man. I mean, I was telling an agent one time at dinner what we do, and he goes, "Oh, you're a wholesaler? I hate wholesalers." I'm like, first of all, I'm not just a wholesaler. I probably wholesaled in my life 7 deals. So it's a tool that I use, and I don't have anything negative against wholesalers. I personally respect wholesalers more than I do agents, simply based on the fact that they're actually hustling and putting in the work that real estate agents should be putting in. But then, like wholesalers and investor people, focused agents and investors in general, typically understand a lot more about the creative, flexible solutions than realtors do. And in my opinion, that's really doing a disservice to their client. Like there's a lot of agents right now that have listings and you can call them and, subject to might be a good solution for their sellers, but you'll call them and they don't know what that is. Right. And so if the agent doesn't know what that is, how are they really giving the seller the best options and the best solutions that might be catered to what they want?
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, they're owe too much, and there's no other solutions, and you're just letting it sit on the market. I mean, you definitely are doing a disservice to them if there's options and they're not being presented just because someone doesn't get it. If for realtors listening to this and they're like, hey, maybe this is me, maybe I want to be more open-minded. Where would you point them, or where would you direct them to start learning some of these other strategies?
Man, Bigger Pockets is obviously one of the bigger ones. It's a forum, but just start asking around, just get curious. Information's everywhere. So if you're a realtor and you don't know what subject to is, type it in on Google and get started, right? Start taking notes. I met with one of the largest brokers in the country, and the CEO, big company, and he didn't know what wholesaling was. It was funny, dude. Really? He's like, wait, what? Wholesaling? He's like, so like, how many of them are there? I'm like, a lot. Yeah. He's like how many like in Austin? I'm like, I don't know, like thousands.
Yeah. And
he was just baffled. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't really understand how you could be a CEO of a real estate brokerage and not at least, you don't have to operate in the space, but to not even have any kind of understanding what this is.
Yeah. Or even awareness.
Any awareness of this? Like, I still am baffled. I don't know how. I just don't get it. But I guess that's just the traditional brokerage model. That's always what it's been. And so for these agents that want to learn more, like maybe consider that there's another way than your broker's telling you. If they're saying that there's too much risk or they're only trying to take you down one path. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do this, right? Like there are traditional agents that are really good at what they do. And they have a good system and a good structure. But I do think that they should understand these things because even if they're not going to operate and, help someone do a subject to, or find an off-market investor, or, help someone, lend them money or buy a portion of the house, they should know people that can help with that, because their solution's not always going to be the only solution for sellers. And so if they want to be a good real estate professional, they should be able to bring things in that will help their clients with this.
100%. Nice. Great advice. Yeah, and if anybody else has any questions, feel free to drop them. I know we have Skywarp on YouTube said, hey man, thanks for hopping on. Appreciate you. But yeah, I'll definitely make sure we get all you guys' questions answered. Anything real estate related or whatever. We're both open books. So yeah, and again, our event is 22nd. Matthew's going to be speaking. It's literally not tomorrow, but Thursday after. We're going to have well over 100 people there. We can fit a bunch, and then we moved a bunch of tickets today. So we're going to see how many people we get in there. And so I might have to buy some more seats, because I know they said they only have 140, but we can buy more. So yeah, no, I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a great event.
Tell me a little bit more about it. Like, it's all day, right? Like, can you?
It's all day. Yeah. So we're doing 9 to 6. 9 to 6. I think doors are going to open up a bit earlier for networking. So I think about 8:30. So it's 9 to 6 that Thursday. VIP, which we only have a couple of VIP tickets left. We're doing a bonus day the day after down at Geekdom, which is downtown San Antonio. We're down a classroom. We're going to be doing working in person with people, helping them break down their business, and have some people coming in to help with that too. So yeah, all day Thursday, half a day Friday for VIP people. We're going to be doing dinner after with the speakers. But yeah, plenty of time for networking. There's going to be people literally flying in from all over the country, speakers flying in from all over the country. And I think if you want to meet some cool people, learn some cool things, I think it's the place to be. Yeah,
man, I'm excited personally. I mean, I'm going to take some notes, meet some people.
100%.
I feel honored that you invited me to speak, man. I really do.
Of course, man. No, I know you're a go-giver, and it's one of my core values. I definitely recognize that in you, and I know you're just someone who wants to see people win. And every time I've heard you speak or anything you do, you just you practice what you preach, and you're just definitely a person I want to align with. So, love that you agreed and that you're going to come down and speak and pour into the audience.
Yeah, man. Same. I feel the same way about you, and I'm sure that we got to enjoy the journey, right? Enjoy the process, enjoy this. But also, I think in 5-10 years, you're going to be doing these events. They're going to be thousands of people, 10,000, million, right? So yeah, it's really exciting.
Me too, man. Yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, like I said, having the big goals in the future, but still trying to appreciate it while you're in it. So it's, I'm excited, and definitely beyond grateful for the turnout and for only being our second all day one. Yeah, I'm super excited. So let's get kind of back into it. If you guys have any questions about the event, we'll drop the link after. It's live.wholesalingsyndicate.com. If you use promo code TRE, you get 20% off. It's going to be great, man. So with agents, I guess we cater it more to realtors. What is some other ways? What are some other things that they should know? What are some misconceptions that they have about wholesaling, or things that you feel like, besides just being I hate wholesalers, is there any other misconceptions or misbeliefs out there you think that's common in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, the big one is that wholesalers take advantage of people, right? And I love to debate people if I could. I haven't really ever had anybody. I posted about, hey, who wants to debate me about this topic?
Yeah.
But the same dinner I was telling you about, he's like, yeah, wholesalers take advantage of people. And I'm kind of walking through, hey, what happens if, they don't want to list it for this, that, and the other. There's all kinds of reasons, and you don't understand it if you're not in the game. But when you're in it, you get it. There's things going on. It's not always just about the money. And so I asked this agent, what do you do? How do you help these clients? And you know what he said? I don't. I'm so what do you do? He's like, I just move on. I'm like, so you're actually the one doing the disservice here. And he agreed.
Yeah.
Right. And he came full circle. So that's the big one is, wholesalers are taking advantage of people. They get this bad rap, man. People wholesale all kinds of stuff in the world.
Yeah.
Oil, whatever. coffee beans. Like you get something, you find value, you bring a value to someone else because you're hustling, right? So I don't really know why there's a bad rap. I think agents like put themselves above wholesalers. So you're not above them, right? And the fact that I have this big belief that, and tell me your opinion on this, but I think the wholesale industry exists because real estate agents haven't done a good job. They've gotten so used to getting on the MLS, what's available, click, 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 send. I mean, if you're trying to buy a house, wouldn't you want your agent knocking on doors? Right? Wouldn't you want them to send some mailers to cold call? Agents don't do that. So it left this huge gap for wholesaling to thrive.
100%. Yeah, I think with anything, if it's something exists, it's because there's a need in the marketplace. And yeah, there's definitely, I'd love for you to dive deeper into that. But yeah, there's certain houses or properties that real estate agents won't work, or certain scenarios or situations where traditional listing won't work. Going back to that dinner conversation you had, what were the ones you brought up to the guy that he said he couldn't help with, or what are some other ones where traditional listing might not be a good option?
Like, hey, what if they? I mean, I'm a big believer in this concept. Like, Ky, you own a house. Call it you got 200K equity, right? And you need this, for a random example, you need 50K for your kid's college, right? Well, what if you brought on a partner, right? And so to that guy, like, hey, what if they want to just, sell a portion of their house? Or what if, they have a great interest rate and, subject to, for example, right now, like what if they have a good rate from a couple of years ago and they don't have to take this big ding on the price because they can transfer that loan to someone else and still get a good price? How are you going to help this person? I don't know. What if they want to sell, in 10 to 15 days because they're going into foreclosure or because they're moving or whatever, man? Some people just want a peace of mind, right? What if they don't want people to come look at their house? They don't want people walking around their house. They have kids, this or that. How are you going to help them? And he's got nothing. So he literally told me he just passes. I just move on. And so I'm like, man, like, don't you realize that you're doing the disservice what you said the wholesalers are doing? And the other real big pet peeve of mine is like, if you don't know the language and you don't know what a subject to is, and some of these different terms, like how are you a real estate professional? Like, you're really just trading paper to make a commission, making the easy money, but you're not really being a student of the game.
Right. That's a great point. Yeah, I think thinking on it now as we're talking, I think a big thing, and you touched on it before, is I think it's just lack of information. Because I feel like when I first heard about subject to, I'm like, oh, that sounds sketchy. Like, why would anyone do that? And then as I dove in and started to learn it and started to practice it and started to pitch it, I'm like, oh, it makes sense. There's a certain type of buyer going through a certain type of situation where it works. And like creative financing, innovations, like everything. I mean, there's
innovation, right? I mean, like that's, at least for me, it feels relatively new, like in the last year or so. Yeah. And you feel that way too?
I feel like it's been blowing up. It's everywhere. I feel like it's a big buzzword. I know a lot of people have been switching to that.
But like that comes out, right? And we don't say like, because I would assume like, we think the same way on a lot of the stuff is like, we're not like, oh, we're not going to do that, or you can't do that, or that's horrible. Like, we're like, what is it? How do you do it? Well, how does it work?
Yeah.
And so we're just open-minded, to a new solution.
Yeah, no, I definitely am. I think sometimes my initial thought though is like kind of guarded, like, oh, why would I do it differently? Or why? I feel like I do have that initial gut reaction sometimes that a lot of the people we're talking about have, but then I just have to like think deeper, like, why do I have that thought? Like there must be, I have to be like, there must be something I don't know. And like, once I kind of put my ego aside, I'm like, okay, then I'm like, now I want to learn, what is it that I don't know? Why is this working for so many people? Why is this a thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's good, right, to question and not just, but that's the whole point, is like, at least we're asking the questions.
Yeah.
100%. Whereas the agents, they're not asking the questions of what. So tell me, like, I've heard wholesalers are taking advantage of people, but can you tell me about it? Can you tell me how it works? What's the value that they provide? Like, let's at least just talk about it.
100%. Yeah, I think that foreclosure one's a great point too. Like someone's about to lose their house and like they don't have time to list it. They don't have time. I mean, like and this person has a cash buyer. They know cash buyers. They know they can move it. I mean, you're definitely bringing a huge value to that person.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it fun, man. It really does. You feel good about what you're doing when you're able to go in and cater based on their goals a solution to them.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And I've had the privilege of, we were working on that deal together a while back. I got to hear you on the phone and I heard, I mean, it's exactly what you're talking about. It's exactly how you talk with sellers. You're super empathetic. You know, you're diving deep, trying to see what they're trying to accomplish and see if there's even a possibility of, you know, us helping you find a solution.
Yeah. And I've just found personally that if you have enough going on, then you can go about real estate that way. And if you don't, you're kind of trying to force these deals because you got to go make that cash. And so you're just forcing it into existence and you're not really stepping back to like figure out, hey, how can I just help?
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. So one thing I haven't heard really anyone talk about, and I'd love for you to go deeper in, I know you mentioned, so someone can sell partial ownership of their house, or they can sell a piece of the house. How does that work?
Yeah. I mean, dude, multiple solutions there. One is just become a partner, right? And invest in the property and whatever percentage you want, right? I could you got 200K, I could offer you 100K. And maybe in that, like, let's say you have 200K, and maybe I'll drop that to 170 to be like, here's a little equity for me. And then if I want to buy half of that, I can't tell you, I'm not good at the quick math on 170, but whatever half of that is, I'll give it to you and then I'll become a 50-50 partner. And then you turn around and rent it. And we sign it over to an LLC that you and I now own. And we have a rental property together. You just own 50% of it, right? And there's online solutions. There's a company called Lofty AI. I really like this company. I own some properties on it. And you can sell 5%, 10%, 3%. And so you can do it on tech or you can do it with an individual investor.
Wow. Yeah, I'll check that out. I haven't heard of that one. So Lofty AI.
Lofty AI. Check it out, man. I know the owner and the CEO, and I have 3 properties that I bought like a small percentage of on there. And I'm getting paid. They pay you every day on the rent, which is cool. It's not much, but it's still cool. But I'm also going to go and put some of my properties up there and say, hey, I want to sell 10%. And you can go and I could sell 10% of my property, but also I could say, I want to be able to buy that 10% back anytime in 5 years at, a 10% return to the investors. Like you can structure these deals however you want.
Wow.
It's super cool. I know.
So if someone needed like a short-term loan or something, or if they needed or I guess even a couple-year loan, like they could sell it and then buy it back.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can do that outside of tech. Like you can just do that person to person. The tech will give you a little bit more scale, but I mean, it's all, on paper, right? Like I said, the deed, got an operating agreement as partners. Go open up a bank account. We'll pay rent to the bank account. So I think that solution is, I think there's a big need for that solution. That really doesn't get talked about at all. Everyone just thinks you got to sell the whole thing. Right.
No, it's super creative. Now, would that solution ever work? Do you like the partial ownership if they wanted to stay in the house and didn't want it to be a rental? Or they?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to stay there, they would now rent it, right? But they'd be renting half of it from themselves,
right?
But they'd be renting it from the LLC that they own half of.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah,
man. Any other strategies that you feel like aren't being talked about enough?
The big one that, I guess a couple. Like we're buying an RV park right now, 0% interest. So every payment. So like from the investing side, like you can throw out different options. Every payment we make is completely paying it off. I'm chasing some deals in Kingsville where we're buying them for 20, 30K, putting 30K into them. So we're all in for 60. And they're not very nice. And, when we finish them, they are, but it's not a house that a lot of people would buy. But you go put 30, 40 into it and you have the right crew, you can make them pretty nice. And then we'll go and we'll owner finance them at 120, 10% down. And so we doubled our money in the long run. We got a good portion of our money back up front because we might have gotten loans on that. And then it's just a owner finance long-term hold.
Wow. That's super cool. How did you find that deal?
No, those aren't hard to find. Like it's more on the specific market.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kingsville, Corpus, you can go buy those, no problem. Like you can go, they're just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It takes work, right?
Yeah.
It takes work. It takes time. But you obviously can't do that anywhere around Austin. I don't think San Antonio. So it's just picking the right market for it.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. But that's super cool, man. It sounds like a badass deal.
Yeah, that one's good. The RV's good. We just closed a retail building in Florida. And we've gotten down the path of raising capital, and so we were never really focused on that, and so now we're trying to dial that in. And I just realized that there's a really big need for people that want to invest in real estate that they have a hard time figuring out how to do it. You know this, but I don't know if you've maybe ever thought about this, but like if I were to have $50,000, right? And I want to go and I want to get, $500 a month, $6,000 a year. I put up 50,000, I get 500, like clockwork, right? That's not easy to do.
Right.
And it's not, right? Like, you go buy a house for 150 and you rent it out and you got expenses, like you're going to make a little bit of money. But like, that's hard to do even for us. And we're in it full time. But if you can structure deals like that, because you found value, you can structure that for other people and they just put up the money and they get the return on a syndication or a fund. That can be a really great solution for them because it's really hard to do on your own. Even when you're full time, like you, like hitting the streets, finding deals, that's still hard to do, right?
Yeah.
So there's a big need out there for people that don't know how to find those deals, but they want to get that cash flow from real estate.
I love that, man. So going back to or touching on finding deals, what are your favorite ways to find deals, or for your people, what are their favorite ways, or how do you coach them on finding deals?
For me, really, it's through the network. We have 6 full-time guys that are like hitting the pavement, like doing hardcore cold call every day. My mom's calling. They have a scoreboard, like they're getting after it.
That's awesome.
So they're hitting the streets that way. And you can do that, and it's great, and it's needed. But if I can go get, 100 people to be doing that, I'll just get a lot of deal flow. So I just get, at this point, what I try to do is get more relationships, meet more people, explain that I'm here to help. I'll be a partner. I'll sign on the loans. Excuse me. And then I just get deal flow. Like I'm getting 10, 15 a day, but it's from other people. And that's just wholesalers, right? A lot of wholesalers, a lot of agents, a lot of investors. So that's how I try to do it. And then our team is doing all the list, every kind of list you could imagine.
Okay. So just pulling lists, skip tracing them and smashing the phones.
Expireds. Yeah. All of it.
Love that, man. So if somebody's like, they're brand new, they're just starting out, how would you recommend they start building their own network?
Just start one at a time, right? Like it's pretty simple. Go have 5 next week, go have 10 the week after, go have 20. And it's a numbers game. You're going to have some that don't work out, but like be consistent and just start. Go get 5, right? Just get 5 people that, you can talk to, that will respond, that will look at deals, that you can send deals to. And then I heard this like 4 or 5 months ago, but I liked it. And it's real simple, but it was like, if you want to make money, go find someone who's making money and help them make more of it. Right. So same concept to networking. If you want to build a network, like find someone with a good network and help them get more of it.
100%. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the best things I did when I first started out. Was when I first started, I was going to networking meetings and all these things. And before I was even to real estate, when I was a young kid, I was like thought real transactionally, but then I just started to think of like, how can I, give value first? How can I provide value to this person? And most people, if they're not a psychopath or they're not like, just crazy, don't care about other people, they're going to want to naturally provide value back to you.
Yeah, people, I mean, especially in real estate, man, there's something about us agents and investors that like, we're people.
Mm-hmm.
We like to talk to people. We just like it.
Yeah.
So like, we're excited when people call us.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not, they're probably not really a deal maker.
Right.
Maybe they used to be, but they're probably not actively making things happen.
100%. I love it, man. So as far as I know, you have a huge team, much people in the brokerage. What type of personality type or what type of things separates people, I guess, that do well in this business that don't?
I just think that we just don't quit, right? Like the markets shift and change, and we keep going best we can. We just never quit. And then a certain level of risk, we're risk takers. That's my perception. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd say I'd chalk everything up to me just being dumb and stubborn and just
yeah, exactly. Just not giving up. And we've gone through a big shift in the last year, 2 years. I mean, I'm sure your business has changed. Ours has for sure. But we just keep pushing forward.
100%. What are some of the shifts or changes you guys have made?
Man, we've really started raising more capital, so putting bigger deals together with other investors. We've gone pretty big on kind of like you in some sense, like events and webinars and just creating a funnel for people to get more involved with us. For a long time, you had to be a real estate agent to be involved with TRE, and we didn't really have a great solution outside of that. But now the door's open. I mean, we have, I think, kind of like yours, there's a community, there's Facebook groups, but really just more collaboration and just realizing more and more real estate's a team sport. I can't reiterate that enough. I mean, not only is it really hard in a lot of aspects, but like it's not even fun on your own.
Right.
So we've just tried to really dial in casting the big net, but getting more clear on who will thrive and do well with us. And so trying to waste less time on, you can't like, you can't help everybody, and we want to try and we will try. But I've fallen into the trap of just caring more than other people care. Like it's easy to talk about, I really want to do this and I really care. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm looking you in the eye, like I'll do it with you. Yeah. But like, it's just talk. Right. And so like just getting more clear on who's not talk and how do we have a structure where we can thrive and grow together. And then implementing that.
That's great, man. That's something I struggle with too. But you just really want to see people win, and like they're just, it just sucks. Like can't do the work for them, and it's like just want to shake them and fucking. But
it's easy to talk about how bad you want to succeed, right? Pretty. I mean, everybody can do that, and we kind of like we fall for it. We're like, yeah, I do too, and I want to help you too, and like, it's like, man, what are we doing? We're just talking.
Yeah, no, that's frustrating, man, for sure. Definitely one of my least favorite parts is you want to help all the people, but sometimes you can't. And stuff. Do you have any, like, I don't know what the word, do you have like any, like tripwires or anything that like, hey, like I should stop spending time on this person, or maybe this person is all talk? Is there any signs that people can look out for?
Good question. Let me think about that. Do you have any?
Not really. In the beginning, like if somebody just reaches out and they're like asked for something, I'll ask like, hey, what have you, and I got this from someone else, but like, hey, what have you done so far to try to do it or to figure it out on your own? Or like just ask like, what else have you done to try to figure it out, to see if they've actually taken any action, or like have they tried to do Google search? Like have you done literally anything besides just reach out and randomly ask someone you don't know for help? But yeah, besides that, just kind of checking on you, like, hey, did you keep them accountable? Did you do what you say you're going to do? And then but I mean, it's tough.
No, that's great. I mean, I think that's That would be the answer, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not a magic thing just to know. You just gotta go through it.
The ones that are gonna stick around and that care, they're gonna keep showing up, just like we do. Right?
Yeah,
we do it for other people. We do it for other people, and vice versa. And yeah, it becomes hey, just like I said, we gotta just enjoy the journey, man. We're lucky to be in this business.
Yeah, 100%, man. But I love it, man. I'm getting some great takeaways. Like, if anyone just hopped on here before, if you guys have any questions at all, drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure we get them answered for you. Somebody asked, I don't know if he's asking me or you, said, "Be my Valentine" on YouTube.
Which one of us?
I don't know if my wife would be happy if I Valentine. But no, I love it, man. I'm super excited for the event, super excited to hear you speak and go more into all this stuff and learn. One of the things, if you guys are on the last live I did, back-to-back ones today, it's literally just coming to, if you're going to events, my best advice for you is just have an intention. Know what you want to get out of it, whether it's networking, whether you're looking for employees, whether it's you have this business problem, and you don't know how to solve, or just think of what is your biggest your big hairy problem. If there's one thing I could solve with my business, what would it be? And then just have that intention going there. And I just try to look for, 2 or 3 nuggets or 2 or 3 things to write down that I'm going to implement and take action on, because I used to go to a bunch of events and, to sit and listen and get all pumped up and come back and, not really do much different. So, but it's this big game changer when you come and you have an intention and you know what you're trying to solve, and you actually make a game plan there. Like, hey, I'm going to implement these 3 things.
I agree, man. That's a good point. Same with when you go meet people, right? Like, at least I used to just go. But like, slow down. What's the goal? Even if it's just a friend, like, hey, like, just really think through what you're doing and why, and then you can leave with a better outcome than just showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really, really crazy when you focus on something. It usually you find a solution.
I'm excited, man. I'm gonna try to meet everybody I can and take notes, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah, no, me too, man. Yeah, I always get some stuff, whether it's my event or other people's events, and there's always something. I mean, you can always. Same thing we were talking about earlier is having that mindset. There's more to learn. There's more to do. There's stuff you don't know, and just putting your ego aside. It's huge for me. But yeah, I couldn't recommend it heavily enough. Just having that curious mindset and just being willing to learn and try new strategies, because that's probably my favorite thing about real estate is like it seems like, at least to me, I mean, I haven't been in that long, but it seems like there is no cap on like what you can learn or what you can grow. There's just always new levels, and there's always different people doing different things. And every time I feel like, I got like a good grasp on it, something else comes around, or I hear about someone doing something different that I like never thought of at all. So it really just seems like it's how you're creative. Like if you're a creative person, it's like, you have a great play area, whatever you want to call it, a great opportunity to literally, you put that to work and make a bunch of money.
Yeah, man. Student of the game, baby. Mm-hmm. So it's next Friday. Is that right?
Thursday.
Next Thursday. Sweet. All day next Thursday. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, I'm excited. We got a bunch of speakers. I don't even know the exact count, but I think we have like 15 or 16 speakers in one day. So it's going to be nonstop. And they're all go-givers, just like Matt. They're all going to give you tactical advice that you can actually implement. It's not rah-rah, jump up and down. And that stuff's great, and there's definitely a need for that too if you need motivation. But yeah, this is definitely more based on tactical stuff that you can actually apply to your business and start making more money.
Come on, man. Well, I hope to see people there. If anyone wants to ask questions beforehand, I'm happy any way I can to help. And if you guys are watching this, come see us, San Antonio, baby.
Yeah, man, come hang out. It's gonna be a good time for sure. But I appreciate it. Matt, what's the best way for people that are listening to this? What's the best way for them to follow you or connect with you online?
Just through our website. I mean, we got all our social media channels there, Teifke Real Estate. Mm-hmm. We're very responsive. I'm easy to get a hold of. MattTeifke@gmail is my email address. So anyway, people want to reach out, man, open door here.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, definitely go give him a follow. And I appreciate everybody. Looking forward to seeing everybody next week, next Thursday. And yeah, you guys keep crushing it one day at a time.
Hey, this is Ky Logue. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I truly appreciate you. If you want more of this information and you want to see these actually recorded live, go ahead, join our Facebook group. It's the Real Estate Wholesaling Syndicate. It's right on Facebook. Google it, you'll find it. Type it on Facebook, you'll find it. I look forward to seeing you guys in there. We give a ton of free information in there, a bunch of free trainings, free courses. You get all the scripts, contracts, everything you need, A to Z, absolutely free. And I look forward to seeing you on the group.